For millennia, human creativity was tied to physical constraints. Carving stone left an undeniable mark of origin that could not be easily replicated. When culture moved to digital networks, Web 2 platforms provided the distribution. In exchange, they required creators to move their data into centralized corporate silos, where ownership is governed by user agreements, not code. This centralized model created a structural flaw. Creator identities became fragmented across different platforms, and their work remained unprotected at the protocol level. This lack of protection has enabled a new threat vector, the simulation explosion. Large-scale neural networks absorb these unprotected human outputs and utilize them to approximate artistic styles. The math suggests that for any human style, a synthetic version can now be generated on demand. Generative AI approximates style at zero marginal cost. This creates an environment where the supply of a specific aesthetic can be expanded infinitely and instantaneously. As synthetic generation floods the market, style loses its traditional economic scarcity. Cryptographically verifiable authenticity is now the primary factor that distinguishes human work from simulated output. Corporate platforms are built on subjective, policy-driven architectures. Network protocols, by contrast, rely on rigid, deterministic logic. The current digital landscape allows the economic value of human culture to be absorbed by the datasets used to train AI models. Without a defensive barrier, this value is extracted without compensation to the source. A marketplace or a set of creator tools cannot solve a problem rooted in infrastructure. The bleed of economic value is a consequence of how data is currently anchored and routed. Artistfolio is a sovereign cultural infrastructure layer. It is designed to change how creative data is handled at the network level. Its function is to provide a technical defense for the origin and economic output of human work, ensuring that authorship remains attached to the creator regardless of where the work is viewed. Protecting these digital assets requires a shift toward defensive, deterministic protocols that prioritize creator autonomy over platform data extraction. Artistfolio replaces the volatility of algorithmic feeds with a rigid system of mathematically enforced order, governed by a set of minimal, unalterable invariants. These mathematical constants ensure the system's runtime remains consistent and resistant to external interference. The first layer is the vault. This is the sovereign authorship protocol, where a creator anchors an original work to their verified identity. Above the vault is the Codex, the semantic engine that manages the structural record of a creator's portfolio. The Codex uses JSON LD to maintain an append-only record. This ensures that every entry in a creator's history is preserved in a format that AI and other systems can parse but cannot alter. The protocol combines the vault asset, the Codex metadata, and a high-precision timestamp, signed with the artist's private key. These elements are compressed into a scroll hash, generating an immutable cryptographic proof, linking the work to its creator and a specific moment in time. By utilizing the scroll hash, authorship is no longer a claim stored in a corporate database. It is a verifiable mathematical fact anchored to the network. Creators often work across different styles, using various pseudonyms or participating in diverse collaborations that require separate identities. Artistfolio addresses this through a framework called Kernel Identity Multiplicity, or KIM. Under this framework, a single human root manages multiple distinct creator kernels. Each kernel can represent a different style or persona. The system uses zero-knowledge proofs to isolate these public personas. This cryptographic shield allows artists to verify authorship of specific works without revealing the root identity behind their different kernels. Reputation and economic value are tracked independently for each isolated kernel, ensuring the activities of one persona do not affect the others. KIM allows creators to experiment with new styles and deploy multiple personas while minimizing the risk of reputational or economic spillover. An artist's style is an observable signature of their work, and in the current environment, it is the primary target for AI-driven data extraction. Artistfolio implements an AI boundary layer as a protocol-level defense that creators can activate from within their vault. In restricted mode, the protocol blocks unauthorized scrapers. Any automated attempt to ingest the work into a training model is rejected at the network level. This prevents generative algorithms from utilizing human outputs without the explicit consent of the creator. Alternatively, the artist can select licensed mode. This requires a microtransaction from the AI service provider before access to the data is granted. These payments are automatically routed through the protocol's Beam terminal, ensuring the artist is compensated for the use of their intellectual property in AI training. The boundary layer shifts the dynamic of AI data acquisition from zero-cost extraction to a programmable, consent-driven market. Institutional allocators and government agencies require economic systems that are auditable, legally compliant, and insulated from the volatility of common crypto markets. The CATCO DAO acts as a legal and Treasury shield, designed specifically to manage institutional capital within these regulatory frameworks. CATCO is structured across 2 jurisdictions. It operates as an EU foundation and a United States Wyoming DAO LLC to ensure compliance in multiple markets. Capital is managed using stable value units. These tokens are used for internal accounting and are fully pegged to prevent the fluctuations associated with speculative assets. The Beam terminal acts as the internal engine for routing these assets directly between institutions and creators. These stable units are used for grant disbursements and direct patronage, landing directly in the artist's vault. By utilizing a non-volatile Treasury infrastructure, Artistfolio provides a secure environment for institutions to deploy capital into the creative economy. While the system serves individual creators, the protocol is designed to link these sovereign nodes into an interconnected regional framework. Artistfolio operates as a B2B and B2G infrastructure deployment, focusing on the needs of large-scale cultural entities and governmental ministries. The model utilizes institutional SaaS licensing, providing cultural organizations with the tools to manage digital archives and funding distribution at scale. This white-label licensing API allows national art registries and ministries to bridge their internal databases with a public record of verified authorship. This enables governments to transition from legacy, paper-based grant systems to programmable funding flows that are dispersed the moment a work is anchored in the protocol. These deployments generate a real-time cultural cross-graph, an auditable map that tracks the distribution of institutional funding and the specific works associated with those registries. The Artistfolio protocol provides a structured defense for the creative economy. It establishes a sovereign, compliant infrastructure for verifying authorship and managing capital across the digital landscape.